This lesson is on proportions. Okay, so solving problems using proportions. So a proportion is a mathematical statement that two fractions or ratios are equal. Cross multiplication can be used to find a missing piece of information in a proportion. Oftentimes in the pharmacy, you will be required to use proportions to solve various mathematical problems. So, best way to start off is to work your way through plenty of examples in order to understand the setup and the process of solving these problems using a proportion. So, example, you have a problem that states 3 semicolon 6, and the 4, when they have 4 semicolons, you can consider that as an equal sign, and 2 colon n. Sorry, they're not semicolons, they're colons. So this can be thought of as 3 to 6 equals 2 to 2 to n. Okay? So these are ratios. Okay, step 1, rewrite the ratio as a fraction. 3 to 6 becomes 3 over 6 equals 2 over n. Step 2, you cross multiply. So what that means is 3 times n and 2 times 6. Step 3, divide both sides by whatever is with the letter. So 3n, you see that the n is, there's a 3 and there's an n. So you're going to divide by the 3 because that's the letter that's the number that's with the letter. And when you do 6 times 2, you get 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And that leaves you with n equals 4. All right, so let's try another example. We have 3 to 8 and 5 to n. First step is to rewrite as a fraction. So 3 over 8 equals 5 over n. The next step is to what? Cross multiply, right? So with that, okay, so our next step is, so now we just cross multiplied. We did 3 times n, right? We did 3 times n, and then we did 8 times 5, right? So we have 3n equals 8 divided by 5. Our next step is to divide by with whatever number is with the number is with the letter. So 3 is with the letter, so we divide by 3. And 8 times 5 is 40. 40 divided by 3 gives you 13.3. We're left with n. Okay? One more example. So 4 to n equals n to 81. So our steps here require us to do what? To rewrite as a fraction. So we have 4 over 9 equals n over 81, right? We write that as a fraction. Step 2, we're going to cross multiply. Okay, so 4 times 81, so we have 4 times 81 equals 9n. That's our cross multiplication, right? So on your calculator or in your head, you can do 4 times 81 And that should give you 324. So 324 equals 9n, and then you divide by whatever number is with the letter, which is 9. 324 divided by 9. Whatever you do to the right, you do to the left. So you divide by 9 on the right side of the equal sign, and you have to divide by 9 on the left side. And you get 36. And our answer is 36. N equals 36. Okay, so proportions in pharmacy. Proportions can be used in pharmacy to convert between units of measure. There are 3 basic systems of measurement that are used in the pharmacy: the metric system, the apothecary system, and the household system. There are conversion factors within systems and between systems that are always true and never change. In other words, no matter what type of problem we solve, 1 gram will always equal 1,000 milligrams. In addition, these truths can be used to set up proportions and solve our missing pieces. So these are basic conversion factors that you should memorize. Okay, these are key in the pharmacy. The conversion factors we will use in this course are found in various tables in Chapter 13. Just a few of the common ones are listed here. So 1 gram is 1,000 milligrams, 1 microgram equals 1,000 milligrams, 1 tablespoon is equivalent to 15 mLs, 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters, 1 fluid ounce equals 30 milliliters, 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds, 1 cc is equivalent to 1 ml, and 1 teaspoon is equivalent to 5 ml. These will be utilized all throughout the pharmacy consistently, so it's very important that you memorize these. So when writing a ratio using conversion factors and other given information from a problem, the units on the top of on the left side must be the same as the units on the top on the right side. The same is true for the units on the bottom. So step 1, you write your question as a fraction on one side of the proportion. Make sure to write the units. Okay, step 2, you write information that is given in the problem as a relationship or a conversion relationship on the other side of the proportion. Step 3, solve using cross multiplication. So for example, we have 8 fluid ounce equals how many mLs? This problem that we're doing here is exactly similar to a problem that is on your week 1 assignment, and actually a number of questions that are in your week 1 assignment ask you to convert. So we're going to do this. Step 1, write your question as a fraction on one side of the proportion. Make sure you write the units. So we have 8 fluid ounce. We want to figure out how many mLs. We don't know, so that's our question. So that's why we put N next to the ml, because that's the unknown that we're solving for, right? So our step 2 requires us to write information that is given in the problem as a relationship or a conversion relationship on the other side of the proportion. So we have 1 fluid ounce is equivalent to 30 mLs. And we got that from our relationship that is given in the book, right? From our previous slide. Right? So these are our common units that are given. In step 3, solve using cross multiplication. So we know how to solve using cross multiplication, correct? To solve using cross multiplication, we do 8 times 30 n times 1. Right? Step 3, solve using cross multiplication. 8 times 30 equals 1 times n. 8 times 30 is equivalent to 240. And 1 times n equals n. So we have 240 mLs. Now we're going to go over a few sample problems in which you have to look for keywords in order to solve. So a patient is taking 100 milligrams of antihistamine syrup 3 times a day. If the bottle contains 2,400 milligrams of the drug, how many doses are in the bottle? So you're going to use given information in the problem when available as your relationship on one side of the equation and your question on the other side of the equation. So our step is to first identify the question. We want to know how many doses are in the bottle, correct? So the bottle contains 2,400 milligrams. So 2,400 milligrams in doses. That's our question, right? That's the big question. Is equivalent to, and it says a patient is taking 100 milligrams of antihistamine syrup 3 times a day. So in a single dose, you have 100 milligrams, right? That's our relationship that's given in the problem. Now our next step is to cross multiply. So 2,400, all right, so this is our step right here. We're cross multiplying. So 2,400 milligrams over n doses, right? Cross multiply, you get 2,400 milligrams times 1 gives you 2,400 milligrams. 100 milligrams times n doses gives you 100 n, right? And what is our next step? Our next step is to divide by whatever number is with the letter. We have 100. Whatever we do to the left, we do to the right. So n is equivalent to 2,400 divided by 100 is 24. Another example is a patient presents a prescription to the pharmacy. Take 1/4 ounce of Motrin suspension 4 times a day for 5 days. If the stock bottle contains 6 ounces, how many doses are in the bottle? How many doses will the patient take in 5 days? So for this, we can use a proportion as well. Our question is, how many doses are in the bottle if the stock bottle contains 6 ounces? So our left side becomes the question, right? This is our question. And our right side is the relationship. So the first step you want to do in this thing, the reason why we got 0.25 ounces here is because what did we say from the fractions presentation? Whenever you see a fraction, you change it, right, into a decimal by doing 1 divided by 4 on your calculator, and you got 0.25 ounces. That makes it easier to deal with. All right, that's a 1 dose. And we got that from the problem, right, from what we read in the problem. So our next step is to cross multiply. 6 times 1 equals 1, right? 0.25 times n equals 0.25 n. And then we divide by whatever numbers with the letter, which is a 0.25. So we divide 0.25 divided by 0.25. You can cancel that out. 6 divided by 0.25. And we're left with n equals 24 doses. Now we have the amount of doses, right? This is 24 doses. That's our answer to that problem. Now this one is, how many doses will the patient take in 5 days? So for that, we would do dose times frequency times days. Okay, we're using this. We just plug in our numbers into this equation. So we have a single dose, right, times the frequency, meaning how many times a day, which is 4, right? We got that from our problem up there. And times the number of days. Patient is taking it for 5 days, right? So we put 5. 1 times 4 times 5 equals 20 doses. So our answer is 20 doses.